When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to Bodywork Boxing.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. And it's a future fight that has just been born between one Mr. Devin Haney and two Mr. Gary Antuanne Russell. Now, following the fight with Gary Russell and the controversial ending and decision that took place in which Mark Masayo was able to dethrone Mr. Gary Russell Jr., one of Mr. Gary Russell's former potential opponents in Devin Haney took to social media. And he said that Gary got beat by a bum. So I'm watching another show yesterday and I see Mr. Gary Russell Jr.'s brother, Batman, he's delivering a message saying, hey, Gary Antuanne said, okay, no problem. You feel like that? It's already of note that Devin Haney struggles to make 135. And so eventually he'll be moving up to 140. I'm like, I see where we're going with this. And Gary Antuanne said, hey, when you come up here, come see me. We ain't got to do a whole bunch of running around. We ain't got to do a whole bunch of jaw-jacking back and forth. Just come see me when you get to 140. And I'm thinking like, man, in my mind, I'm already thinking, Gary Antuanne Russell by manslaughter. Gary Antuanne by manslaughter. But who knows? Devin is still developing. He has a big fight coming up. Hopefully he get the fight. I've been pulling for him, and I understand the whole competition thing, but the way I looked at it was like, okay, I guess Devin scored the fight as Gary Russell getting beat. Okay, so that's cool. So in the judging aspect, you would reason that if when Devin got a fight coming up with George Kambosos, if that does come to fruition, he does go over to Australia. I guess by the way that Devin and all his fans think that if Devin put on a performance like Mark Masayo did against Gary Russell, a man with one arm, that he's going to win. I beg to differ. That's why I was saying, it's a multifaceted coin. There's so many different sides and angles in the way that we can look at it. Because, a lot of people were saying that, Gary did enough to, maintain his crown. And the judges saw it otherwise. Just a couple weeks ago, Teddy Atlas and Ken, his co-host, he said, man, if you ever want to rob a bank, get 3 judges. I never put that inside one of the Teddy's Takes type videos, but that's documented. I was going to use that eventually. I still might revisit that because the way judges are scoring nowadays and the controversy surrounding it, and, based on the 4 criteria, it seems like some of these fights, don't really go the way the masses would say they should go. It just depends on the justification if you support that fighter. I'm not going to get off into the politics. What I do like is this storm brewing. And I reason that if Devin Haney believed Mark Masayo did enough to win that fight, in that judgment from those scorecards and those CompuBox numbers and all that happened here on U.S. soil, I don't think that same performance against the George Kambosos is going to get it done. And I'm not saying tread it lightly. I'm saying, hey, you coming into your own, you getting your grown man on, you feeling yourself, you doing a whole lot of jaw jacking. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to go over to Australia, buddy. So I hope that same energy, I hope that masterclass boxing and everything else shows up, But I saw how, everybody's taking to, do their content and they talking about Gary and they basically saying that, Devin got it right and how he clowned Gary and how he was going to give Gary his highest payday and all this other stuff, And they always say that Gary just turned it down. He should have took the fight. But whenever I ask Were there terms in that contract? Always get the silent treatment. Yesterday, somebody shut it down to where you could be in only subscribers, only mode, or you had to have a wrench, but never answered my question. But it's okay. It's okay, you know. I mean, for Devin, I say, hey, laugh now, man, and I hope that you get everything that you're supposed to get when you go over to see George Kambosos at Australia. However, once you do your thing, and I do want to see Tank and Loma fight, and I want the winner to fight George and Devin, so we can get a clear-cut, undisputed, where we see where all the chips fell at 135, who was indeed the best and everything. But after it's all said and done, then Mr. Devin Haney got to move up to 140. That's going to be the first fight that I'm screaming for. I'm going to hold my reservations. I kind of gave you a snippet of what I think. But I really like the approach that Gary Antuanne is saying. You know, I'm not going to go all on social media and just say a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's good to, you know, just kick Gary Wiley down. You know, talk your stuff. Kick Gary Wiley down. Get all your laughs. Get your skinning and grinning. But you got to be mindful that Mr. Gary Russell, in Devin's last opponent, Jojo Diaz, perhaps his best competition to date, that one Mr. Gary Russell had already beat him, and that's Devin Haney's biggest victory. So we got to put everything into perspective. I say laugh now, you know what I'm saying, enjoy it up, live it up, champ, you know what I'm saying, do your thing. I just can't wait, man, and I hope it ain't going to be one of them Mikey Garcia things where your father come out later on and say you never had plans on seeing or fighting Mikey Garcia. I hope that you keep that same energy. Because it is a one Mr. Gary Antuanne Russell, the same gentleman who beat Boots 3 out of 4 times in the amateurs. That same gentleman is up there waiting for you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of water cooler talk. Thanks for all my subscribers. You know, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. I'd like to get your comments. Body work.
All right, I believe you, but my tummy don't. Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
My word, and I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, we gotta lock it up. I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid up, right? You know what I'm saying? To the fans that know.
Today fell outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, there ain't no safety on the clock, so I'm gonna go.